Getting in a long-term relationship when I was 17 was probably the worst thing that I've ever done for my life. And I was in that relationship for 7 years. And let me tell you why it was so bad. It's because when that relationship eventually ended, I was left with massive FOMO for life. Or not for life, but for many, many years. I felt like I'd missed out on the dating experiences that other people had in their teens and early 20s. I was in a long term relationship from like 17 to almost 24, so almost 7 years. And I'd only dated one other girl before this long term relationship. Like, I'd only dated some chick in my school when I was 15 for like 6 months. And then I dated the second girl, also from my school. And then we stayed together. I moved abroad for university for like studies. And I just didn't know how to break up with her, man. And she was the same. Like, I was her first ever guy. She was my second ever girl. So I just didn't really know how to let go of, like, I just couldn't, I guess I couldn't accept the idea that if I were to let her go, some other guy's gonna have her. It was like this possessive feeling. It's like she was my sort of thing, you know? So what that did is I ended up at 24 with some chick I fell in love with, man. Right after this relationship, I met some chick, and she made me fall in love. She was just so different, this girl, you know? So different from my long term partner. She was nasty. She was like everything my ex wasn't. Like, adventurous, slutty. We went to sex parties together. I didn't obviously swing or share her or anything, but being able to even be in that environment with her, and just we stuck to ourselves because we were pretty young as well. But that's something my previous long term partner would have never done. But the fucked up thing was I still felt like I'd missed out on so many dating experiences, and it all came to a head when me and this girl did Molly together, and we got really honest. We got so honest about everything. You know, when you do Molly, if you've ever done it, it's like everything's good in the world. There's nothing she could have possibly said to upset me. And so I asked the question you never really want to ask as a guy, or maybe you do. I don't know. I asked her about, like, so how many people have you been with, slept with? You know, like, what's your body count? My body count at that point was 3. She was my third, and she was 20. This girl, I was 24. So she hits me with her number. Her number was 16 at 20 years old. And I then had to lie about my body count. Like, you can say I was insecure. You can call me whatever, but I don't care. In that moment, I was 24. Didn't have a lot of experience with women, and I felt like I needed to bump my number up a bit. So I told her my body count was 8. So it's at least half of hers. And the thing is, in that moment, we were high. It didn't matter. But the next day, I was like, I remembered it all, and things just I could never function in that relationship anymore. It wasn't even a relationship. We're just hooking up. We're just housemates. But this is a girl I really liked, and she really liked me back. But I just couldn't. I couldn't, because I started asking specifics as well. Like, oh shit, who was your last guy? How big was the biggest guy? Like, what's the best dick you've ever had? Like, she had guys making her squirt. I didn't even know how to do that. All of that shit you don't really want to know as a guy. I was like, I do want to know. So I found out. She was being very honest, you know? She even asked me the next day, is this gonna change anything between us, like what we spoke about last night? And I was like, nah, of course not. How could I tell her? And eventually I had to break up with her because I just couldn't. I guess it was my ego. I just couldn't take the idea of being with a girl who'd been with more people than myself. I just couldn't. It's like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Something, call it male insecurity. I don't care what you want to call it. I was 24, man. Leave me alone. But in that moment, I just couldn't take the idea that she had more people than me. And yeah, so I eventually broke up with her. Like, I started to slowly get more and more detached from her. Started going out with other people. She knew I was coming out of a long-term relationship, so she even said, like, listen, I really like you and I would like this to work out, so if you needed to go out and explore for a bit, I get that. And I kind of did that, but eventually I still broke up with her. I just couldn't, man. I don't know. But the bigger thing is about being in a long-term relationship. I felt like I needed those years back. I felt like I needed those 7 years back. And I felt like the amount of years that I spent in a relationship not dating, that's at least the amount of years I should now spend on dating other people. And just like dating multiple girls. I was like, I even had this number in my head, like, I need to get to a body count of at least 100. Not at least, just like, if I hit 100, I can settle down. I'm happy. And the whole thing was about the girl who told me she'd slept with 16 people. I was like, I really like that girl. And if I ever get into a situation again where I really like a girl and her body count is like that, it's like in that range, what would make me take her seriously or like not make this a deal breaker? And I came up with this number in my head. Like, I would need my body count to be at least 3 times as big as hers. So like, if she said 16, I would need mine to be like 48. So call it 50. And I thought about, okay, so what body count would make me pretty safe in that calculation? It's like, I kind of went just for 100. Like 50 was like the bare minimum in my mind because of the exact number that girl gave me. And then I was like, make that 100. I was like, I was just convinced that I need to go on an absolute rampage. So that's what I did. And let me tell you, I was hoping to get there within 5 years. It probably took me more like 7 or 8. It was not as easy as I was hoping it would be. But it was pretty steady. It was a pretty steady climb. And the bodies that I got early on meant a lot more. I used to keep a list of names up until like I hit 30. And funny enough, number 30 is like a good friend now. She's like one of my good friends. So I kept the list up until 30, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not going to keep the list anymore because I'm going to just remember in my head. Like, you just remember your bodies as a man, I thought. But eventually I stopped remembering them. And nowadays I'm pretty sure I'm 100-ish. Even if it's like close and not really 100, it's probably going to happen organically. So like in my mind, by the time I'm like settled down, if I do settle down, I'll be at 100. Like I will have hit that target. But it did not take me as it wasn't as quick as I'd hoped it would be, right? Like I had to wait for it and work for it. And yeah, I did have like one or two, a bit like 2-3 month relationships along the way. But throughout those 2-3 month relationships, I was still in that mindset that like I still need more bodies because I wasted those 7 years where people get those bodies, And so eventually, and I actually ruined like 1 or 2 good things that I would have been super happy with, like girls that I would have liked to continue with. I ruined it with them because of the mission that I was on. I was like, I need those bodies, man. I don't care. So, and like, let me be honest with you. I ruined those relationships and I regret it. And if I'd had the normal teenage years and teen 20s where I fucked around, I got my sexual experience with women, if I'd gotten that early on, by the time I was 27, 28, when I met those girls, I would have been ready to probably settle down with girls that I thought were high quality and that were like clearing the bar. Because I tried to keep high standards. Like I'm very aware that 90% of the women that I would sleep with, I wouldn't take seriously. So women that I would take seriously are very rare for me. And I fumbled the few that I got because I was still on the quest to 100 bodies. But you live and you learn. You can't get back those years. But if you're a young guy, I would say do everything you're gonna do young to make sure that when you're like in your mid to late 20s, if you do want a girlfriend or you do want a serious relationship, you don't feel like you're missing out on anything anymore. Because that fear of missing out was the biggest thing that fucked me. And I don't want it to fuck you. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.